Security expert vents fury it has as disregarded over denied cover no comparison to Home Office. Prince Harry was denied to pay for his private protection by the UK Home Office that has no comparison to taxpayers-funded police security, a security expert said. Prince Harry filed a judicial review against the Home Office after being denied permission to pay for himself and his family's private security. Security expert Richard J. Aitch wrote that there is no comparison between the private police protection the Duke is using in the US and the government-provided detail the UK can offer. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle saw their security arrangements completely overhauled after announcing they were stepping down as working members of the royal family in 2020. The Director of Operations for Mobius International Security told Royal US, cost alone shouldn't be based solely on his role within the family and the taxpayers funded that service besides the fact that Harry has now removed that argument in its entirety. He's offered to pay police protection so the UK government can't turn around and say the UK taxpayer isn't actually now going to fund this because you're no longer providing a service to the people. Now he has offered to pay for it in its entirety, so when you have to make a comparison between the private sector and the UK, and that of the government-led provision, there is no comparison whatsoever. And we're not just discussing the differences between manpower from a government police protection provision and that sort of private sector. He added, if Harry came home to the UK and he received private sector-only security, that security is compounded by not only the lack of competence and performance on the ground generally by those individuals but also the fact that you don't have the usual intelligence flows. But on top of that, which is probably the most influential aspect over all of them, is the fact that they don't have the law on their side. So police put a police provision of protection to someone in the UK, because they have the power of the law. They can create sterile and secure areas, they can prevent access by the civilians on the ground venues. They can control traffic flow and they can go whatever speed they like, they can stop traffic. I mean, just this in itself reduces the risk to threat quite considerably. Mr. H continued, in terms of cost and his role, those arguments don't really balance well with the current situation. In terms of risk, there's an argument that the government says that now he's no longer a member of the royal family, his risk is now lowered. And I would actually argue, on the contrary, it has actually increased by virtue of the fact you have removed police protection from him. So his risk on the ground is increased exponentially in comparison. You can't, especially in the UK, make a comparison between a government provision close protection and that of a private sector. Prince Harry's car was chased by paparazzi during his brief visit to the UK in 2021 when his taxpayer-funded government security was compromised. We are working to add a content advisory to any podcast episode that includes a discussion about COVID-19. This advisory will direct listeners to our dedicated COVID-19 hub, said Spotify CEO Daniel Ek. The statement comes hours after Prince Harry and his wife Meghan Markle expressed their concern to Spotify about COVID-19 misinformation on its platform. They said they are committed to continuing to work with the company, a spokesperson for their rgued Foundation said on Sunday. Singer-songwriters Neil Young and Joni Mitchell are removing their music from Spotify in protest that the popular streaming service has allowed the airing of misinformation about COVID-19 vaccines. Harry and Meghan signed a series of corporate deals, including to produce and host podcasts for Spotify, as part of their efforts to make a living following their split with Britain's royal family announced in 2020. Hundreds of millions of people are affected by the serious harms of rampant mis and disinformation every day. Last April, our co-founders began expressing concerns to our partners at Spotify about the all-too-real consequences of COVID-19 misinformation on its platform, the spokesperson said. We have continued to express our concerns to Spotify to ensure changes to its platform are made to help address this public health crisis. We look to Spotify to meet this moment and are committed to continuing our work together as it does. Committed to continuing